Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm in my living room. It's super bright, as you can see. The sun is shining and it's like too hot for makeup, but I need to film something, so I thought I would do very easy makeup look. You can see my husband, Mr. Tommy Archer.
Am I in the video?
Yeah.
Hi guys!
You're a Wally. I hope the lighting isn't going to be too distracting because I know it's like bit overexposed at the back because of the bright sun coming through, but if I sit that end I'll be squinting and the light will be changing and it'll be very annoying. On my skin I have the Dr. Jart Premium Beauty Balm. This has an SPF of 50, but it has a little bit of coverage to it, which I really like. I have two shades. I have light, medium and fair light. I really am in between shades, which is very frustrating as it's not the sort of most affordable product, but I do need both because one is too pink and the other one is too dark. So this is the product. So as you can see, it does add a little bit of coverage. You can see that this is a little bit too light for my skin tone. It has a very pink undertone to it, whereas the light medium is a bit more on the tan side, so I use kind of like half a pump of each, but it gives just enough coverage that you can leave the house. It covers a little bit of redness and evens out your skin tone, so that's what I have on my face at the moment. Therefore, I don't want to apply a full-on foundation. So I'm going to go in with a concealer. This is the Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer. This is something that I've reached for so many years on days when I kind of want a no makeup look. It gives you coverage, but it is so lightweight, it feels like you're not wearing anything. So I'm just going to pop this across my cheeks. The shade I have is Too Neutral. A little bit on my nose, here. You can of course use a lightweight foundation, but because I've already got something on that gives me a little bit of coverage, I just want something for just added extra. I'm going to use this highlighter concealer brush by AU. They are an Irish brand, and if you can hear loads of talking, it's my neighbours. They must be in the garden. We have to have the back doors open because it's so warm. Yeah, so AU are an Irish brand. They do such great products, so underrated. So this is just going through the centre of the face where we tend to want a little bit more coverage, and I'm just going to buff that in with my brush. Next door have a puppy, so if it sounds like they're talking to a dog, that'll be why. I think they're trying to train him. I'm also going to pop a little bit around the eyes, so on the inner corner, a little bit just over my lids and the outer corner. That will give a lifted effect to the eyes. Just press it over the skin. I'm just going to do my eyebrows using my Urban Decay brow blade. You guys have seen this a million times, so I will skip it, but I will link the tutorial on screen for you on how to use it. Look at this bit of hair. I had it cut recently, and I had some more layers put around the front. Admittedly, I didn't have much off the length, but I had my layers taken up a little bit, and now I've got spiky bits. Okay, so I'm going to take my MAC 286 brush and a little bit of my Endless Summer Bronzer by bareMinerals, which you know I love. I'm going to take this through the socket. I've done my eyebrows off camera. I want to keep the eyes like something there, but not too heavy. This is ideal like if you've got, I don't know, like a summer garden party to go to, a barbecue, and you want to look like, you know, you've got a little something on, but you're still kind of going for the no makeup look, almost. See if that's still the case once I've finished. That's just gone through the socket really lightly. The only reason we do that is so that by the time we finish our face and we pop some bronzer around the circumference of our face, everything kind of ties in nicely. I received some watercolour blushes by Daniel Sandler. If you guys have followed me for, I don't know, the last decade, you'll have seen these before. If you guys are YouTube OGs, this was such the rage back in the day, and I'm so pleased to see that they're still going strong. So I'm going to take this watercolour blush in the shade Rose Glow. You need like the tiniest drop. It's literally just like that. I'm going to use the opposite end of my number 7 brush by IT Cosmetics, and I'm going to put this on the lid itself, this has such a beautiful iridescent glow. If you follow me on Instagram, I just put up some swatches of the collection that Daniel kindly sent me, and they're all so beautiful, but this was definitely my favourite shade because it has that beautiful glow to it. But there are matte finishes available if you want like a matte blush. So this would just give a very subtle kind of pinky finish to the eye, but also a bit of a glow. Hay fever is up the wall today. It's making me feel like I've got a cold, but also making my eyes itch. So if they look a bit red, that'll be why. I didn't want to miss out filming today, but at the same time, it won't be up to my usual standards purely because it's too hot to film up in the studio. It's very warm down here and my hay fever is going haywire. I'm going to take this by Eldridge in the shade Cressida. It's beautiful. Very neutral in its finish. This is going on the centre of the eyelid. It will add a little bit of a highlight to this area. Just pat it in with your finger. And when you have a highlight in the centre of your lid, it makes the area look bigger. It bounces light off. So if you've got quite small lids, this is a nice little trick. Just pat it in with your finger. Just keeping it to the centre. Wipe your finger off and then tap on the edges of each side so it blends into the rose glow. I'm just going to pop a little bit just on the inner corner of the eye. Pat that in with your brush. Use what's left on it to kind of just brush it over the whole lot. We're very, very subtle, but it will just pick up on the light. I love that as a highlight on the inner corner. I've not powdered my face yet because we're going to use some more watercolour blushes, so I want to use those before I powder, so if I'm a little bit shiny, that'll be why. I'm not going to apply any eyeliner today. Again, I want to keep it super simple, so I'm going to use this MAC False Lashes Maximiser. So this is a primer for your eyelashes. Do you remember L'Oreal double, can't remember what it's called, but it's like a double-ended mascara. They used to do the white version, and then you would use the opposite end and it was the black mascara. So this works in the same way. So give your eyelashes a little curl, rotate your curler to get extra lift to your lashes. I've got Miss Piggy, but I'm trying to keep her off camera because where she's got eyes, the camera thinks that she's a person, and if I have her here, she ends up being in focus and I don't, so I have to keep her off camera. So I'm going to go in with this Maximiser. I usually only apply one coat of this, and you don't want it to completely dry before you go in with your mascara, purely because they become too solid with any of these kind of like primers, and you will just find it harder to completely coat the lash in the black mascara. So allow it some setting time, but don't leave it too long. So this is great if you've got super fine lashes, quite small eyelashes, or you're going for an eyelash shed and you want to make the most of them. Apply a primer first. It will coat them, giving them some thickness and some drama for when you go in with your black mascara. I'll do one eye at a time so you guys can see the difference, but also because I have a new mascara that I'm going to try, and if I don't like it I'm going to use my Louboutin one. This is by Max Factor. This is a 2-in-1 mascara. You might have already seen it. It's a comb wand, and then the lid twists, and what it does is it changes the wand itself. If you can see that, hopefully. Extends it, and then it makes it slightly shorter, and then what this does is it just gives you a different kind of volume to your lashes. Having it stretched out will apply more of the mascara to each of your lashes, and then tightening it means the combs are slightly more closer together, so you separate lashes more. So then you've got the preference of which one you prefer. So just fan your primer. Okay, I'll try and get a bit closer. I'm going to keep them shorter together for this one. I've never tried this, so we'll see how it goes. So we're going to coat over the primer. This is quite a wet mascara. I can't talk and do mascara at the same time. Look down into a mirror when you're doing mascara if you don't want to get it on the top of your lid. Okay, so that is the mascara with the primer. and that's just one coat. So with the primer, it's really, really good. You can see it gives enough volume, it gives a nice lift to it. And what I would say is I always let my mascara dry, or more or less dry, and then go back in with my eyelash colours and just gives them a subtle pinch, and it just elevate them a little bit more. Yeah, overall it's quite nice. So I'm going to go back in with my primer on this eye to make sure you coat all your eyelashes, even the very inner corner ones. I like this one because it's pointy. You can see it's tapered, so you can get right into the inner corners of your little lashes. Fan that. If you don't give it enough time to kind of set, you'll just wipe it off. So it's just about finding the balance. So give it about 45 seconds to a minute. My eyelashes are quite long at the minute, and I'm not using a lash serum. I haven't done for a couple of years now. I think I stopped just after the wedding. It's actually probably a year. It's not 2 years. Quite a hard comb. It's not like silicone-y. It's a bit tougher in material, so when you catch your lid underneath, it's a bit uncomfortable. So that's both eyelashes done. As you can see, it does give you a nice amount of volume. No need for falsies. I haven't elevated them yet with my lash curler. I just want to see how they dry first, and obviously you don't want to do that while they're wet, because otherwise it will just take the mascara off. So yeah, I'm going to take my MAC coffee pencil. I've showed you this trick a few times. It's a nice way to make the root of your lower eyelashes look a little bit darker. It makes the eye look a little bit more done up, but without wearing eyeliner. So all you're going to do is just darken the root by just drawing over the root, but not in a line. You want it to be very, very soft. Don't take it onto the waterline, just take it at the root of your eyelashes and pull off of it, so it makes that area look a bit darker. Okay, so Daniel Sandler recommended the shade Hot Totty as a contour bronzer in one, and that you only need the tiniest amount, again because they're super pigmented. So I'm going to pop a little bit onto my hand, and then I'm going to take this Duo Fibre Brush and pop the tiniest amount. I've put way too much into my hands, as you can see. When you blend it out, that's how pigmented it is. So really work it in. It does have kind of gold light reflecting particles. I'm going to pop this on to the hollows of the cheeks and also up slightly, so it creates that bronze contour effect. So I'm kind of using a stipple and swipe motion at the same time. So a little does go a long way, and you want it to be really, really subtle. So you can see it's kind of carved out that area, but really lightly. So I'm also going to take that around my hairline so it frames the face. I like Duo Fibre brushes because they only apply a very light amount of product. They pick up a light amount, they apply a light amount, and the dual fibres sit at different levels, so you get a nice blending effect. You've got the light bristles at the top, and then the dark bristles are slightly shorter, so it gives a tapered finish. It's so much more lightweight in its approach, so it's great if you're a newbie or you're somebody that likes very light makeup or a light approach to makeup. So just build this up until you're happy with the intensity. This will look beautiful in the sun because it will just catch the light, because it's got those very slight gold pigments in it. So I've got a bit more colour on my chest at the moment, so I can afford to build up a little bit of colour onto my face. I'm consistently wearing hats at the minute because the sun's so strong, and I've managed to keep my melasma under control, and I don't want it to flare, so I am a hat person at the moment. If you've got your hair up like I have, just make sure you work it into your hairline. Just take a little bit under your jaw. And then down onto your neck. You can also use what's left just to pat on this part of your nose where the sun would naturally hit it, almost like you've been on holiday. On my cheeks, I'm going to take the Daniel Sandler Watercolor blush in the shade Cherub. Again, I'm going to take a very small amount, and this is a matte finish, I believe. 1 drop should do. And then I will go over with a little bit of the Rose Glow that we put on the eyelids. I'm going to switch to my number 7 brush by It Cosmetics. Pat that in. So this is a pinky tone, so it will give a nice fresh finish to the skin. Smile. Pop this on the apples of your cheeks and bounce the colour backwards. I love how lightweight these products are, they're so versatile. You can really see why they've stood the test of time and they are still very, very popular. Gives such a nice natural glow to the skin. I can see I'm going to be obsessed with these again. Going in with the Rose Glow, another drop onto your hand, and then this one I'll take a little bit higher on the cheek because it has that glow to it. So add a flush of colour and work as a kind of blush highlight hybrid. So pretty. You can also do this with your fingers, you don't have to use a brush. Glowy! I'm going to take a small amount of my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Powder and put this over the centre of the face to take a little bit of shine down. Obviously I've got mostly just sunscreen on with a little bit of the concealer, and the sunscreen is quite glowy, so a little bit of powder. It's not a setting powder, it's a finishing powder, so it does work really nicely at the end, but if you're somebody who's super oily and you feel like you need just a little bit more security for your oiliness, then use a proper setting powder such as the Mercier translucent powder or the Huda Beauty Easy Bake, I think it's called. This week I've received this Sculpted by Amy Hydra Lip. This is in a peach shade. You're a little bit on the dark side of peachy. I'm going to try it. I don't know if I'm going to love it because I quite like a lighter, softer finish. But we'll try a little bit. Smells nice. I think having a little flush of colour to the lips in the summer just makes you look quite youthful, and like, you know, like when someone comes back off holiday and when their cheeks are flushed and their lips are flushed, it just looks really healthy. So that is my super easy, quick, refreshing face. I'm going to call it refreshing face because it's a way to kind of just refresh your face before you go out, as opposed to wearing a ton of makeup. I know some of you will probably wear less than this. Even for me, it's more than I would use on a daily basis. For instance, most of the time I don't wear anything. But if I'm in a rush, I'll just put a lick of mascara on, do my eyebrows, especially since I've had the Dr. Jart Beauty Balm. I don't feel like I need to put any kind of foundation on. Let me know what you think in the comments. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I've tried to use some different products, keep things interesting, and I hope you don't mind the more relaxed finish here because it's too hot. It's just too hot to wear makeup, it's too hot to film upstairs. Hopefully the noises outside and the planes and stuff hasn't been too much of a problem. So thank you for sticking with me, and I'll see you in a couple of days with another video. Bye guys.